I'm joined by News 24 columnist in Washington, D.C., Simon Williamson, who's just cast his vote internationally. Thanks for joining us.
It's nice to be here.
So tell me about your experience voting.
It was actually pretty easy. The queue when you vote overseas is virtually zero, unless of course you're in London, where there are, I think, 9,000 people trying to get into the embassy. In DC, there are not so many, so it took about 10 minutes from when I walked in to when I walked out.
I'm sure that's going to be nothing like what we experience when we go to the polls on the 7th. Now, were there lots of South Africans about?
Not too many, but probably largely due to the weather. It has been raining in DC for about 3 days, and today is the worst of the three. But there were at least probably 20 officials. There were three election observers. There were lots of people to process paperwork. There was a journalist from Voice of America to cover it. So the room was bustling around, even though voters were outnumbered by about 10 to 1.
Now, is Washington the only place in the US where South Africans living abroad can vote?
No, there's four. You can vote in Washington, D.C., New York, Chicago, or Los Angeles. Now, I live in Atlanta, which meant it was quite a trek up here to do so. And if you live anywhere in the South or the Southwest, you've got a hell of a long way to go to try and pass your ballot.
Right, and how did it feel for you, just on a personal note, South African, away from your home country, but being able to participate in these elections?
Yeah, it is pretty awesome. You know, I can understand why there are arguments against people being overseas voting, but as someone who lives over here and still has, I'm still South African. I own property in Johannesburg, and there's a huge interest. I have a huge interest in who governs the country. It's a really really nice to be able to vote from far away, and it's very far away. I lived in London during the 2009 election, and it was easy enough getting back home. From America, it's a lot more expensive, and it's a lot further. And it's really a nice luxury to be able to exercise your right to vote this far away from South Africa.